Just how accurate is Kemper's new liquid profiling? Well, last week I did a video that not only announced that I'm back in the Kemper game, I have a Kemper stage and I've been capturing some of my collections. I have a whole new section on my website that's going to feature all my collections. I'll have the link to that below. Last week I released my Brit 45 Kemper Ultimate Collection. Today I'm announcing the release of my Deluxe Reverb Ultimate Collection for Kemper. And also I have another one that I'll be talking about in a different video, which is my Soldano SLO 30. Those are all available now at the links below if you're so inclined. Today I'm going to be featuring, as we talk about this liquid profiling, the new Deluxe Reverb capture, so you can hear those out of the mix. Later in the video, I'll play you what these various different rigs sound like when mixed together in a full production, and I hope you enjoy that. But we want to utilize these tones to figure out just how accurate Kemper's new liquid profiling is. After I did my video last week, I did have a viewer say it would be really neat if you could do, a capture just maybe with everything all on 5 on the amp, not really a sweet spot capture, and then compare it to another capture with different settings and just see how accurate it is. So I've done just that, and we're going to take a look and see how that turned out today. Now, a couple words on that. I don't know exactly the process that the folks at Kemper used to model the different tone stacks and gain movements, but as we all know, you could probably line up 10 different Deluxe Reverbs and have them all behave slightly different. So just going into this, I'm not really expecting it to be absolute perfection because they didn't use my particular 65 Deluxe Reverb reissue for this. But I think if we could even get it somewhat in the ballpark where we can actually move those controls and have them react, much like a general Deluxe Reverb in this case would work, I think we have a pretty successful situation here. And I think most folks would probably agree that, we're not going to have it precise and exact since we aren't using the exact amp that was used as a reference. I'm going to timestamp everything below. I'm going to play through first all the various tone models of my new Deluxe Reverb Kemper Ultimate tone model collection that's available at the link below. Let you hear what those sound like. The rig collection is going to include 6 studio profiles, 3 levels of gain on the normal channel, 3 levels of gain on the vibrato channel. Those same settings captured as DIs so that you can merge them together if you so desire. And it's also going to include, if you're running the new OS 10 beta, or after, whenever you're watching this video, if there's newer releases and new public releases available, it's also going to capture the normal and vibrato channel each separately as liquid profiles, both in studio form and also in DI form. So you're going to get all of that. And I'll take you through those tones, and then we will do our comparison to see just how accurate this liquid profiling is. All right, so let's head over to Rig Manager and give this all a listen. All right, so here I am playing my Gibson SG, and as you can see, you're going to have to ignore a couple things. I don't have the DI rigs loaded in here just because I'm not going to be playing with those today. They're the identical captures, the same settings as what I captured with the studio rigs here, which is captured through the built-in 112 Jensen C12K speaker that is included in the Fender Deluxe Reverb combo that I have. So I have Deluxe Verb Norm 1, Deluxe Verb Norm 2, Norm 3. So that's going to be the normal channel at 3 different levels of gain, kind of clean, push to edge of breakup, or maybe a little bit more, and then just all out cranked. And then the same settings on the vibrato channel. Then you'll notice I have Deluxe Vibe Norm Liquid. That's the liquid profile of the normal channel. And then Deluxe Verb Vibe Liquid, which is going to be the liquid profile of the vibrato channel. Then you'll notice 2 other things here. We'll use these later. This is a capture I did that's not included in the bundle, but it's all on 5. So I just captured it with the normal channel with volume, bass, and treble all on 5. It's not the sweet spot capture. It's not even how I would have captured it, but it's just to capture it in that static setting. And then I took a capture that I did on the normal channel with the gain on 7, bass on 4.1, treble on 7. So we'll compare those, see how different they sound, and then see how switching the controls on this all on 5 liquid profile to these same settings, how close it comes to sounding like this. And I think if we can even get in the ballpark, we have a very successful undertaking by the folks at Kemper. But let's start off by just running through the tones you'll get with my Deluxe Verb Kemper Ultimate Collection. So this is the normal channel on the first level of gain. I'm on my bridge pickup on my Gibson SG. Move up to the neck pickup. little bit of delay and just a dab of this natural reverb here, so things aren't so dry. All right, so moving on to the next level of gain on the normal channel. And these are dialed in to work real nice, both in the studio and live in a mix. You know, you can make little tweaks to it for sure, but I think they are a really great starting point. And then moving to the final level of gain with that normal channel cranked. Sometimes I bake in this little studio equalizer, doing very, very little. You'll notice here, I have it on a low shelf set at 642 Hertz and a high shelf set right in around the same frequencies, a little tiny bit boosted on the high gain, a little taken out on the low gain, but I can just cut that out. That's what that sounds like with a little bit of delay, without that delay. All right, moving to the vibrato channel, number 1 setting, lowest gain. Bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Really nice stuff. Moving on to the second level of gain on that particular channel. That's a neck pickup. Back to the bridge. And the third level of gain. So I was really liking those tones a lot. Now, if we move on to the normal channel's liquid profile, we now can come in here. We have the Fender Deluxe Reverb normal channel settings burnt in here. So now I should be able to take this gain control and have these react more like the real amp. Very cool stuff, and it really does give the feel that I'm adjusting the real amp. So that is included in the collection as well. And then the vibrato channel, same sort of thing. So with this collection, you get the best of both worlds, the new liquid profiling and some of the old standard rig captures. All right, so moving on to the real purpose of this video now, which is to see how accurate this liquid profiling is. So again, this particular liquid profile that I made was with all the settings on the amp on 5. So volume, bass, and treble all straight up the middle on 5, and it sounds like this. You'll notice I just added the same little dab of natural reverb. There's no other processing as a noise gate on to both of these particular rigs. So the idea is now I should be able to take these controls and have them react much like the Fender Deluxe Reverb normal channel that I have chosen the amp model to be. Now, if I come up to this normal channel Deluxe Reverb capture where I have the gain on 7 as it was captured, bass on 4.1 and treble on 7, it sounds like this. And again, I just have that little dab of natural reverb at the end. Now that is going to sound dramatically different than this capture. As it should. They're completely different settings. Now, this capture here sounded very faithful to the amp and what I was hoping it to sound like. Now, what happens if we take this liquid profile, we bring the gain up to 7, we bring the bass back to 4.1, and we bring the treble up to 7. Now, these are the settings. Now, let's do this. Let's replace that rig so when we switch back and forth, it's going to be the same. So that's what this sounds like now. Now let's switch that over to the actual capture. I mean, it's close. It's obviously a little different as I would have expected. As I mentioned before, I don't really know which amp they used to model the liquid profiling amp model off of, and it's obviously going to probably react a little different to my Deluxe Reverb reissue, but man, that's pretty close. I'd almost say with this, if we add maybe just a hair more gain and a hair more treble, maybe? I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing here. Let's see what happens. A little bit different in the mids maybe, but let's just try this. Man, I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. That's kind of close. Maybe I added a little too much treble in there. I would say that that's pretty impressive. I mean, it's not exact. I wasn't expecting it to be exact. I don't think anybody should, as I mentioned, because we're dealing with very different amplifiers. I don't know, again, as I've said a couple times already, what particular Fender Deluxe Reverb they use to model the behavior of the bass and the treble and the gain. And it's probably going to be in real life different than mine. But what a great feature to get ourselves very close in that ballpark and at least have the profiles / rigs in our Kemper react a little more lifelike to the amp that it is doing its best to mimic. All right, what do you guys think? I thought that was pretty impressive, very close. And you know, it's close enough, I would say. I really don't think we should get too bent out of shape over minor, subtle little differences. You know, now if we have one of these liquid profiles, we can feel comfortable knowing that if we move that gain or that tone stack around, that we are going to at least have it reacting much more like the real amp, if we have that particular amp listed in our liquid profiling list. And I'm sure the plan is to add many more of them. So we can even bake these in after the fact if we know the settings that we use. So I'm recording all the settings of all the captures I take. So later, when other amps are added, I can create liquid profiles of those effortlessly in a matter of seconds and have those react more like the real amp. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I thought that was pretty interesting. I'm going to leave you today with the demo video for my deluxe reverb Kemper Ultimate Rig profile collection. That is available at the link below, along with my Sold 30, which are the profiles of my Soldano SLO30 Classic, and also the Brit 45 Kemper Ultimate, which is the captures of my new Studio JTM Marshall amp. So those are all available on my website. I hope you enjoy those tones, and you can go listen to the demo videos of them, hear them in and out of the mix, so you get an idea of what you're dealing with. So thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that video. Please like the video, share with anybody you think we get some use or enjoyment of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thanks again so much for tuning in, sharing your time with me. Enjoy the demo. Ciao for now.